First of all, I want you guys to know something. I already apologized to Steve, okay? I thought that he took the guy out like the kid at Providence took the guy from St. John's out. It's the only reason I sent him to the locker room. I thought he literally made a dirty play and tried to wipe the guy out. Now, I don't have the film. Once I saw the film, I mean, he still got an F1, to be honest with you. I don't even know if he deserved that. When I watched it, you know, Coach Iz thought the same thing when I communicated with him. But I thought he tried to wipe the guy out, which to me, you know, that's a bad play. Like, you can't be down 25, you're getting your butt kicked. Don't try to take somebody out, hurt somebody on the other team, which is what I thought. Now, I'm short, I was blocked, I'm on the other end. Obviously, their reaction, I thought he tried to crush this kid. I think it was Coop. So anyway, I apologize to Steve, you know. So it gives me a chance to tell you guys what a great guy Steve is. Now, he asked me for $10,000 more in NIL because of that. But I told him I'd try to give him another commercial. So I don't know if you guys know Steve's got a commercial. Do you know Steve's on a commercial?
Didn't know. Which brand?
You got to ask him. I should have asked before I came in here. It's a wild story. It's for good for recruiting. He was in Westwood getting lunch. And literally, they were shooting a commercial. And that guy, he's a good-looking kid. Like, between, you know, we don't have a lot of them, like me, Steve, and a few other guys that are, you know, can be in commercials. And they asked him to, like, because I'm sitting at home and I'm like, yeah, that's Steve. I don't know if it's like a Experian.
Yeah.
What is that?
Credit reporting. Go online, they tell you if your credit's any good.
Gotcha.
I wonder if Steve knows what Experian is.
I don't think he does, but he's extremely intelligent. So it gives me a chance. Like, look, Steve's everything that's good about college basketball, right? The guy he tried to walk on at Michigan State. He walked on at San Diego, got a scholarship, graduated from a great school in USD, here getting his master's. So it gives me a chance to tell you, you know, what a great guy he is. You know, he's everything that I believe about college basketball. That being said, you know, I'm trying to protect, like, I take it really serious. Like, our guys don't get texts. We're not taking guys out in the air. You know, the brand is important to me. So, but, you know, I was wrong. I apologize to him. That being said, the brand's important to me. So, I need to dial back some of my humor, Ben, so I apologize. You know, sometimes I'm too candid, like, for example, talking about how bad our flight was after the NCAA tournament. I'm lucky to coach here, and like my advice, I've said this to guys like, you know, you get older, lose all your hair, and I have to have facial hair now because I don't want to look like Mr. Clean. But you have to realize, like, and I have to do a better job of this, that in this climate, you've got to be careful with what you say, because I'm not here. I'm a good fit here because I know I'm not bigger than the brand. And the brand matters here. The school matters. The last thing I want to do is bring negative publicity to our school. And sometimes because it's not about me, I don't care what people think about me. I need to do a better job knowing, well, I am the coach here and I need to make sure I don't do anything to embarrass our school. So for that, I apologize, because that I don't want. I apologize to our people. Schools, students, you know, everybody in our community, because it's important. You like these jobs, you got to raise money, you got to be friends with donors. I mean, I believe in all that stuff. So as I tell you, like, you know, I'm trying to protect our brand. I don't want our guys taking some guy out while he's in the air down 25. That's Bush League, not what happened. But the same goes for me. I got to make sure that I represent us in the right way. So that being said, we got a problem. Illinois is really good.
Coach, how did Steven take your apology?
Oh, he's the best, man.
Yeah.
He did not ask for another commercial. Maybe he'll get one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been, you know, it's not like I kicked him off the team, buddy. I mean.
Yeah. But were you worried ever that, you know, the perception could be that you didn't have your players' backs by making a move like that?
Yeah, it's funny, you know, because it goes the other way. Like, nobody's got their players' backs more than me. Because what I would tell you is, I've always said this to our guys, like, when you're coaching, if you don't love somebody enough to coach them and give them everything you got, Peyton Watson, for example, didn't play hardly at all here. Parents probably were not happy with that. But I sleep well at night because I know I coached his butt off every day and gave him actually more than some of the other guys because I knew it was going to be 1 year and he wasn't getting to play. And he wasn't better than Jules, Johnny, and Jalen Clark at that time. But I had to give it to him, and I owed that to him because he wasn't getting the playing time, and I knew he was going to get drafted anyway. So, yeah, sometimes, perception is what it is. But again, Ben, because I'm not concerned, it's not about me. Like, I'm not in here selling myself to you guys. That's just not who I am. Sometimes that's a weakness, But I sleep well at night because nobody is going to work harder to teach these guys about what an IRA is, or how important it is to learn traits that are going to be successful. And that is not like discipline. That's like reality, as you guys know. Not your paper, Ben, because a lot of people, not your old paper, but like the world is tough, man. Look how many people, what's the Washington Post they just cut their whole sports department. Our managers are so, like I talked to Max as our oldest manager. He about AI. And I just asked him, in the next, because he's much smarter than all of us, in the next 10 years, how bad is it for the kids right now, like you guys that are 21, he's getting ready to graduate, to get a job? How bad, he's like, they projected this going to lose half of the jobs, in certain sectors. Like, that's real. So it's just, I know what I'm about, so I don't really worry about that. And the guys know. They know what time it is.
But I guess I meant more for perception and
Yeah,
recruiting.
yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, yeah. You know what, Ben? I don't really want to get into that too much because, again, I've talked enough about myself. So, I just don't want to be. That's why I'm a good fit here, because here you're not the story. You're never going to be the best coach. If a player, you're never going to be the best player. Kareem, Bill, and obviously Coach Wooden. And to quote, to try to move on, to quote Bill, we used to always talk about defense, and he would in a funny, his funny way of talking, he would say, I hear all that, but you better score. He used to say that on his telecast all the time. You watched it, you better score. We got to score, man. We got to score. You can't go 58, 59. You're not going to win. So, Illinois. I mean, you saw their game against you. Did you cover the game?
I was there, yeah.
Did you stay the whole time?
I did, and I went to the UCLA women's game last night as well.
Well, that's that's entertainment, our team. I don't know if has there ever been a team as good as our women's team? At UCLA, I mean. I'd say no. I mean, I don't know. You're too young to know. You're shaking your head, you're too young to know. I mean, I wouldn't think so. I don't know the times,
Yeah. I want to ask you about, I'm doing something on the Hawkins family because this is the end of the
Yeah, Gabriella's graduated.
7 years of Hawkins, I call them the first family of UCLA basketball.
Yeah.
How incredible is it to have two players of that caliber stay for 4 years each in the transfer portal era at the level that they are?
Well, it's unbelievable. Obviously, Angela texted me the other day a picture of me. That's Mrs. Hawkins. For people that don't know, I'm very close with them. So she texted me a picture the other day. When I got the job, I think Alex took me down. There was some sports award show at the for the high school winners of all this stuff. It was down at the whatever they call LA Live by Crypto. And hi, man, I got this picture. We both look young. I'm gonna throw myself in there. So it was like, we both look young in that picture. She's like, you remember this. So, Gabriella's had an unbelievable career, I take an assist in the recruiting of that situation. Not really, because Big Hawk, that's what everybody calls him. He was relentlessly on me to be on Coach Close about offering Gabriella. Because she did not get the offer until
Senior year.
yeah. Oh, so she got it in the summer before her senior year. And she was MVP of the women's Peach Jam. Is when she got it. But that summer it was like every time she had a good game, Big Hawk's like, you got to tell him, you got to tell him, you got to tell him. So he's a UCLA guy through and through. So, and the era of your point of staying. Jaime, people don't talk about this. Like, we didn't have any NIL money at the beginning. It's been a long grind for us to build it, and it's still not over. Jaime had people calling him, offering him $1 million to transfer. Behind the scenes. For his senior year. He got $44,000 to play here as a senior. How about that? Now, he could have cared less. No, Big Hawk's head was getting ready to explode. I was begging people for money. And I'll tell you, Tiger and Jaime that year, so the beginning of the NIL era, we were working hard. We just had tried to start at Menno Westwood, and we came up with some commercial. Kenny came up with something. And those two guys told him to give it to their teammates because they weren't making anything.
Wow.
Times have changed in 3 years, buddy. That shows you how times have changed. Really shows you how times have changed.
What are your thoughts on Keaton Wagler and that?
Yeah, my thoughts on Keaton Wagler. It tells you how important it is to evaluate players, whether it's in the transfer portal or in high school. It tells you how important it is. I get simple thoughts like you, me and you, he's great. I want to bore you with how great he is. He's a great offensive player, just tremendous. He's savvy, so we can go on about that. He's going to get picked 4th or 5th in the draft. But it just goes to show you that you never know and how important, because I reflect on guys, Jalen Clark. The Bruin, you guys switched, somebody told me or something, so I don't know the name of the service, but nobody threw parties when we signed Jalen Clark, just like I'm sure nobody at Illinois on their recruiting stuff threw parties when they signed him. It just shows you the importance of evaluation. That when you're evaluating prospect, that rankings, although you have to do them, you've got to make sure you got to do everything you can to, and you're never going to be right. Like I talked to Bob Myers about this. You're never going to be right in all the time in your decisions about evaluating players, but your pursuit of being right in player evaluation has got to be relentless. As relentless as you are to try to coach your team and be a better team. Because look at that. Change their season. You put a guy like him on their team, and it just changes the world. And they're 2 overtimes away from winning 17 in a row. And you got to remember, early he wasn't starting some games, so they're December. You watch them play UConn back. They're not the same team. They were playing Petrovic at the point. So since he has taken the reins, they're as good as, arguably as good as anybody in the country. They're 2 overtime losses away from being 17 in a row, and I think right now they're one in offense and 5th overall. I don't know about their AP ranking. It's irrelevant to me. Their analytical ranking, they're the 5th best team in the country, first offensively, and it's because of him. I would argue, and Mirkovic, another guy they got it. He played with a small club in Montenegro last year. His emergence, because I think Hummerkaus was starting early in the year. But again, like when you play Michigan, you talk about the players, man. Like, they got great players. When you could bring a guy like Hummerkaus off the bench, you're really good.
How do you improve the, I guess, consistency of effort and focus for this team? Do you tap into a sense of urgency with the season winding down? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, you know what, Dave? I think effort. Coaches get on here, and I'm guilty as anybody. You just talk about how hard you have to play, and it's a bloodbath. I mean, it's so hard to win a game, and sometimes you just don't have it. And like I would tell you, Michigan State played their best game of the year against us. I think you guys would agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay. So was it like our guys? It's not like the guys aren't trying. You got to play better. I think it's execution. If I would tell you, like, the biggest thing I learned from Rick Pitino is execution. Like, look, if your team's not playing hard, you got no chance. But buddy, everybody's playing hard. I mean, for the most part. College basketball. It's why people love college basketball. You got guys play so hard in college, and you have to watch some of these, the NBA teams, and they're throwing games. Like, I won't use the word tanking. I mean, you're throwing games. And meanwhile, college basketball. I mean, here's Creighton 13-13 and playing at UConn like their life's on the line. I mean, like their life's on the line. So I think it's easy sometimes that as coaches you get pissed off, and you talk about and fans, you talk about play harder. You gotta play better.
Coach,
You gotta play better. I mean, you gotta execute, and you gotta score. You gotta score. Like we're 0 for it's 8 times at the rim we're empty against Michigan State. Like, you gotta have those buckets. Like, they're on fire. You gotta have those buckets, man. So you gotta play better. It's not all effort. I think sometimes it's low-hanging fruit, and to me, like I told you, like Rick Pitino's as good a modern basketball coach, probably the best, and it's execution.
Coach, one thing you said to Ben after the Michigan State game was, you have some players who aren't playing up to their capabilities other than Tyler. Yeah. How do you think you can help them, and how do you think you can help them improve? In that
you got to stay relentless, keep trying to coach. It's I don't know about you, but like if my car broke down, I'd be in deep trouble. But here's our analogy: you got to keep trying to all I would know is turn it on, turn it back off. Like you got to keep trying to push a different button. Because now I have an electric car. I'm a full California guy, so I really wouldn't know what to do. But you got to keep trying to push different buttons, whatever those buttons may be. Like Ben alluded to, like lineup change, defensive change, whatever. You got to keep trying to get guys to play well, because that's what wins games. It's not you got to play harder. I mean it's overrated. I mean, if you're losing because of that, Michigan played way better than us in the second half. That's what happened. We couldn't score, they could. So you got to analyze why you couldn't score, why they were scoring. But yeah, you got to keep trying to push different buttons, whatever those buttons may be. And you can't just keep pushing the same one, is what I'm saying. Although that's all I would know how to do if my car broke down. Or anything breaks down. I unplug it, plug it back in. That's all I really got then.
You
All
gave
last one.
Coach Sampson, you gave him $1. Tell us about that.
Well, I mean, he's my friend. I was concerned about him. He looked really passionate, and about it. It's again, you got to be careful in the media. Things come off a certain way, because he wasn't alluding to their NIL. He was, when Houston went into Big 12, they didn't get a full share.
I didn't know that.
Exactly. So you don't even know what he was alluding to. And I knew what he meant, but I just, a chance to have some fun with my old buddy. So it's good, just a good excuse for me to mess with him. So he's the best. All right, guys.
Thank you.
You got it, bud.